Good evening, everybody. Welcome to season 4, episode 9 of the Argo Bounce Podcast show with co hosts Nick Small and Chris Pomay, a weekly talk show independently devoted to the CFL's 19-time Grey Cup champion Toronto Argonauts. And I hope everyone's doing well on this Thursday, August 21st, 2025. This is my third show of the day and fifth in the last 4 days. But I'm happy to be back here with Nick for Argo Bounce Podcast show episode 9. Unfortunately, we have another loss to talk about. And the only good positive is the CNE game is this Saturday as well, Nick. So what are your thoughts, Nick?
Yeah, well, we got a lot to talk about, squeezing it in a little bit of a shorter episode this week. We've also got a football game going on right now as at the halftime, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are leading the Montreal Alouettes 16-10 in what's been quite an interesting game with the injuries that Montreal's dealing with at quarterback. So that's a fun one to watch. And like you said, we do have the CNE game to look forward to. Always one of my favorites. And it was fun at practice too this week because I was at practice today and they did another pop-up food drive, raising a little bit more money for the Daily Bread Food Bank Toronto. And overall, it was just a really fun day, a good way for the players to kind of get some love from the fans and some support in what's been a little bit of a challenging time, not only with the record from this season, a little bit of disappointing news that we, of course, discussed last week. So there's all that we get to cover today.
Nick, I know it might be too early and you might not be able to say much, or the team wouldn't say much to you, but what's the status of Went McManus and DeMonte Coxie for the game Saturday against the BC Lions as of now?
Yeah, no, good question. It was so Winnie McManus was going full in practice, so I think it's safe to say he will start, and he'll be dressed for this game, the CNE game. As for Coxie, he wasn't present in practice all week, so I think it's pretty safe to say he's not going to play. And like, given the nature of a concussion, like, you also have to remember, like, it's not just like a week to week issue or even a career issue. This could be something that could affect his entire life after football. We've seen what it's done to certain football players. It doesn't take a lot of research to learn where we've seen how horrible some people's lives have been ruined because of the traumatic CTE injuries from concussions. So definitely they're going to treat that with an abundance of caution. So there's no real timeline yet, and we'll just have to wait and see how he's feeling, of course.
Out of all the negatives this season, their one strength is their receiving core. So as much as they're going to most likely miss him Saturday, they have really good receivers there. And the receivers have really done well this year. And I also want to mention Nick Arbuckle again. Nick in the game against Edmonton with 30 for 42, 382 yards, 1 touchdown, no interception. Okay, he's not Chad Kelly, but even Chad Kelly being 100% couldn't fix the problems with this team this year, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So Nick Arbuckle has been really, really solid for this team this year. So the quarterback play hasn't really dropped that much, maybe a little bit, but not that much for this team to be 2-8. The biggest problem with this team is they've got the number 2 offense in the Canadian Football League behind Hamilton. 277 points scored in 10 games. That's 27 a game. That should win you a lot of football games. But unfortunately, when you have the number 9th worst defense in the CFL, giving up 320 points already, 32 points a game, you're not going to win games giving up 32 points a game defensively, even if you're scoring 27 points.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to bring to talk to Nick Arbuckle and just give him that vote of confidence, saying, "Hey, Nick, you're doing a great job out there." I got to say the same thing to Cameron Judge as well today. He's been one of the bright spots this season on the defense that has been struggling. And yeah, to your point, like, I know last week against Edmonton, the score was a little low. They only had 20 points on offense, but you look at the weeks prior: 42 points, you lost; 31 points, you lost; 31 points, you won; 25 points, you lost. And then the week before that, 38 points, you give up 51 to Hamilton. It's just they're they're putting up points on the board almost every week. And that was the one thing that we talked about last season, where if the Argos defense was just good enough to hold teams to 20 points and below, the offense had the ability to outscore them, to put up 30 points consistently every week. And the offense is continuing to do that into this season. It's just been some struggles defensively, particularly with the medium to deep ball. And then the other thing I did want to also bring up with regards to stuff that happened throughout the week, there was an injury to one of the offensive linemen, George Moore, on, I think it was Wednesday at practice. I don't know exactly the details of what happened, but it was off an O-line drill. He tweaked something in his upper neck or head area, from what I'm aware. He went down, and they actually had to call an ambulance into practice to get him taken off. So our thoughts are with him, and hopefully he's doing okay, and will make a quick recovery. It's just, you look at some of these injuries that have happened this season. DeMarcus Christmas got hurt in the warm-up to the preseason game against Hamilton and hasn't taken a single snap. Ryan Hunter, of course, got hit by a car on his way to practice. There's just so many crazy things that have gone on this year that just luck has not fallen their way.
No, and I'm going to mention this too. For them to have the number 2 offense in the CFL behind Hamilton and having zero running game is a testimony to Arbuckle's play and the receivers' play as well. And that's something they got to address, the running game going forward. I'm not saying they need to run the ball 100 times like the Eagles do and Saquon Barkley, but 13 carries, 29 yards. Teams are going to just okay, you know what? They're going to disrespect the running game. And what happens if your quarterback has an off game or your receivers have an off game? You're going to really struggle offensively. So there's 8 games left in the season. They really need to try to get that running game a little bit more than what they're doing now. And we have a viewer watching too, Rick from Hamilton Sports Central. Congrats on the big crowd, boys. The only thing is, Rick, you get a big crowd for the C&E game, but the team's on-field play this year, unfortunately, has been bad. So I don't know how many new fans they're going to get out of this crowd on Saturday. I know over 20,000, but unfortunately, and if they don't win this game 2-9, I don't think they're getting into the playoffs, really.
Well, I talked to a couple other people about it, and at the end of the day, they're doing, the field ops people, the ticketing sales people, they're doing what they need to accomplish with this and getting the casual fan attracted and interested in the Argonauts and CFL football. Even if the game doesn't follow the Argonauts' way, if it's a good and exciting game. Yes. And this also ties into the thing with the Blue Rodeo tickets, and people, I heard it from all kinds of people today at practice. So people are just going to go, and then they're going to head over to the Blue Rodeo concert and leave in the second half and whatever. But everybody has those same criticisms towards BC when they had Snoop Dogg and whoever performing, that, they were just going to show up for the pregame concert and then leave. Even if that does happen, what you are still doing is you're still planting the seed in people's minds. You're getting them out and you're getting them exposed. Even if it's not the entire game, they're getting exposed to CFL football. And who knows, further down the road, maybe later on, might not be this season, but maybe next season, they're a playoff competitive team. And people go, hey, we saw this team last year, and now they're in the playoffs now. Why don't we go watch them play? And that can also tie into everything going on in the next season as well. I was talking to some people about it, and while a lot of us, of course, are disappointed and skeptical, and of course, I'm nervous on what it means for the long-term future of attracting the football fan base. There are some positives in the fact that BMO Field is going to now be state-of-the-art with a whole bunch more premium suites experiences for other fans who might want a different experience than just the sitting in the stands. So, I mean, of course, I'm nervous if is it going to work out that way, but there are some positives to it, that we're going to have a really nice renovated stadium going forward.
I'm just hoping the Argos can be competitive, because, Nick, as their record's 2-8 right now, and I know they're still in the playoff hunt, but let's say they don't play well at all and BC blows them out. That's not going to help either. So you're right. Even if they don't win Saturday, if they can make it a competitive, exciting game, that could help getting some new fans. So some of these renovations, I know they're going to be temporary, but so they're going to add more suites, Nick, like you said. And also, those red seats, I'm going to be honest with you, Nick, those are not very comfortable to sit in, and they're 17, 18 years old. So is there any chance BMO Field's going to put in new seating too?
I doubt that, but I don't think the seats at BMO are that bad. Like they're
Yes,
not.
they're
Yeah,
not
they're.
very comfortable.
You
They're
should have
cheap
seen the
plastic.
You should have
The
seen
tr-
the bleachers at the Indy. Those make your butt hurt. The plastic seats at BMO have nothing on those. Uh,
well, I think they need to
or
go. They need to go.
okay, go see another Rangers game at the Odd where the seats barely big enough for one person, let alone two people,
No,
and you're standing in.
the odd seats might be smaller, but they're more comfortable than BMO Field seats. To be honest with
Okay,
you,
again, that'll be one of these things we'll have to agree to disagree on.
new seating for BMO Field from anybody from the Argonauts. New seating, padded seats, please.
Well, that'll probably be a TFC problem too. I don't know how the soccer people feel. I guess we'll
Nick,
find out when the World Cup happens, right?
Nick, I was thinking about this the other day. 9 teams in the CFL. I think the Argos are the only one that are not the main tenants of their stadium. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, I don't know about BC. That might be one of the weird ones, because I guess I don't know how it compares with soccer there, but what I think you see is too. Yeah, they're not really the top dog there, and I hate comparing it to other cities now because like we simply can't keep looking at like how we look at Hamilton or how we look at Winnipeg, Saskatchewan, BC, Edmonton, Calgary, any of those guys. We have to look at it from our own lens, and that and I guess this is where I get really frustrated by because we're a city, a community, GTA of probably around 5 million people, and that we can't find one other place for the Argos to even play temporarily for 2 or 3 games, let alone half a season or something. That in losing a home at BMO Field. Like some people brought it up to me today when we were going. So like people who live in like the north end, the west end. So like I guess like not quite Etobicoke, but kind of leading up north there, like near the airport and whatever. It takes an hour and 20 minutes to get from there, probably 20 kilometers away to BMO Field and the practice facilities at Lamport. Whereas in Saskatchewan, for instance, in Regina, I know like there, it's you can go across the city in 20 minutes. It's like there's just some really unique and frustrating challenges that I think contribute to the problems with this city because we're the only ones with this problem where people use that as an excuse that it's going to take an hour and 20 minutes to go to downtown or to exhibition for an Argos game. People don't want to do that, but they're willing to do that for the Leafs or the Raptors or the Jays or whoever else. We got to find a way to convince people to come out, take advantage of stuff like the tailgating, like the CNE game, where there's other things people can do to make a full day trip and to get that value out of going the whole day to go to exhibition or downtown Toronto for these experiences.
What are your thoughts on Luke Wilson? I guess he's been really critical of the league, and also he said something I actually agree with him on. Why not York? Why not Guelph? Why not Western? Specifically Western. They have the facilities, and then some of the fans are like, "We don't want to drive out to London, but you don't mind driving out to Regina or Winnipeg." So
Yeah, I mean that's yeah.
he had his
I've
tweet.
always those.
He had his tweet taken down too. By the way.
Yeah, funny enough, we voiced one of the rare times I guess that now we're voicing similar grievances. Like, is the quality not the same? Yeah, it won't be, but yeah, I still to my point earlier, like it's just so frustrating to think, yeah, you're getting a better CFL level facility in going to Saskatchewan or Winnipeg or even Hamilton. Like I can kind of concede the Hamilton thing a little bit, but even so, like it's frustrating that we're playing the home teams in those markets where you're the players don't care because it's like they're being paid. That's their job. They have to do. So it's not the same for us fans. It's really hurtful to us when it's the third time in 15 years that this has happened where we've been displaced in this manner. And it's really hard to grow that core base. And like I said as well, like it's just missed opportunities. You can grow the interest in football domestically, and I think where MLS is leaning, like with the way I see it with these expansions and all that, the Renos to BMO Field, you're trying you're trying to gather the casual fan who's might not be invested in growing the game, but interested in going as a fan and having those new suites and kind of luxury premium experiences to draw that kind of crowd, the people who have money living in Toronto with it being a money city, rather than necessarily doing the things that would grow the home market of football from like youth football or programs of that nature, because the Argos do a lot in that, and you see that all the time in social media posts, things that the Argos are participating in the daily food banks, and in drives with indigenous communities, and low income communities, bringing the game of football to high schools that have lost their programs over the last recent years. So it's just trying to find that balance, because like we see that the team needs to find ways to generate revenue, and going after the guys with deep pockets is one way of doing it, and that's where the premium experiences fall in. But it's also chasing away a lot of domestic fans, casual fans who have been kind of the blue collar hardcore guys who have been supporting this team for so many years.
Well, and to be fair, this organization has been pretty successful lately. I think their last non-playoff year or under 500 season was 2019, but it's just even they need to get back to being competitive. So I don't know what's going to happen the last 8 games, but they need to at least try to win some football games and try to get this thing turned around. It might be too late for this year, but they need to find out who is going to be on this team next year as well.
Yeah, I mean, to that point, like you look at this coming weekend as well, like they're generating 20,000 and they're last in the league. So like they're finding like this is not a knock against anybody who's like in the field ops, ticketing, marketing, sales, and the field managers of the team itself. Basically, like everyone pinball down, like they're finding ways to draw interest, even with a losing season, and they're showing they're caring. I just maybe question that the approach that MLSC taking won't work is kind of my worry about it, that you're going after the wrong groups of people. But then again, you could counter it by saying that they've been going after the fans I've been talking about for the last 20 years, and it's not driving the numbers. So maybe they do have to try a different approach.
And then their next home game after the BC game, I believe, is what, against Hamilton on September 4th.
So they have the Labor Day game, and then they have the bye week, and then it's September 13th. They host Winnipeg.
Okay.
Yeah,
you
so
mean
unlike
Edmonton.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so unlike last year, the last couple of years, they're not doing a game immediately after the Labor Day game in Toronto. They're against Hamilton. They're taking the bye week, their second bye of 3, and they're going to host Edmonton.
All right, Nick, I don't want to go into too much details, but what was the turning point in this loss to the Edmonton Elks, which was another winnable game? It was a winnable game.
Yeah. I don't know if you feel the same, but for me, it was when Arbuckle fumbled the ball at the 10-yard line in the red zone. I think that kind of just Argo Bounce, right? Flipped it on its head, and just it didn't seem like they're able to get any real momentum going after that. And to your point, I know you mentioned this on social media too, like how many trips to the red zone did they take where they were only able to get field goals instead of
1 for 5. They were 1 for 5 in the red zone.
Yeah, and it's weird too, because it's another new problem that's sprung up all year long. They've been fantastic in the red zone, and then suddenly this week against Edmonton, they just could not find a way to punch the ball in from the last 10 yards.
3 turnovers. Anytime you turn the ball over 3 or more times in a game in the CFL, NFL, college football, you're not going to win. It's just the same issues with this team the whole year have plagued them the whole year, and they came up. You got to credit Edmonton. Edmonton has been playing a little bit better lately, but this was another winnable game for the Argos. And be honest, Nick, even if Kelly was back, I still don't think they would have a great record, but I think this team should be at least 5-4 right now, or 5-5. At the
Yeah,
very least, they should be a 5-5 team.
but at the end of the day, it's about coming away with the win, and that's the thing they haven't been able to do. They haven't been able to close out games where they should have. And yeah, whether you want to look at defense or special teams or turnover here and there, yeah, it's just things just aren't going right in the time when they can't go wrong. Whereas last year they were able to find opportunities, get the right takeaway where they needed to. It's just not happening this season.
Look at the end of the game. I think there was a couple minutes left. The Argos had the punt. It was only 25-20,
Hmm.
and John Haggerty. I don't know if it was on him or it was a bad snap. He threw the ball 5 yards, and they turned it over,
Oh,
and they
yeah.
basically put 3 more points on and sealed the
Yeah,
deal
I
early.
used to. Yeah, it was definitely not by design. You could even see when like Mickey Donovan and Ryan Dinwiddie came over, they were like, "What the heck was that?" To John Haggerty, like. But yeah, I mean, he also needs to know, like in that case, even if you're not sure, like I think he thought they penetrated through, that it was going to get blocked if he had to follow through with it. But like, you still got to find a way to just kick the ball, even if it only goes 20 yards. And I
It's
mean,
just, yeah.
we saw that in the game the week before their home game. They had a net punt of 1 yard because it got returned almost to the original line of scrimmage. So you gotta just kick it.
For those people that are watching on live stream right now, if you've got comments or questions for Nick and me, please put your comments in the comment section, like Rick did from Hamilton, from his podcast. What's it called again?
The Hamilton.
Hamilton Sports Central. Hamilton Sports
Yeah.
Central.
Yeah, he recently changed that, so I'm forgetting the name of it off the top of my head. One thing I will bring up, if it's okay if I jump into this, Chris. Rick, and then my friends Connor Suve and Dallas Bergen and myself. I mentioned it on social media earlier, but I'm going to be joining them this year. We're getting set to repeat the walk from BMO Field to Hamilton Stadium in Hamilton, the 65-kilometer walk. We are doing it again this year, and I'm really honored that this year I get to take part in the full walk. So we'll be starting that walk Friday, the 29th. The game's on Labor Day Monday, so we're trying to tackle around 20 kilometers each of the first 3 days, and then we'll do the last 5K under the Skyway Bridge to get to the tailgate lot. So we're donating money to CFL Fans Fight Cancer, which is going to Cancer Care Manitoba. If you are looking to donate, just go to cflfansfightcancer.com. Even if you just Google CFL Fans Fight Cancer, you should find the link there, and then that'll direct you to the donate tab to make a donation. If you do, let us know that you've made a donation so that we can keep track of it on what's been raised specifically for our walk. There should be a thing in there where you're able to say you're donating on behalf of, and if you mention the BMO to Hamilton walk, we'll add it to that total. So we greatly appreciate any donations and any support. And if you can even just tell your friends and spread the word, we greatly appreciate it.
Now, where are you guys leaving your vehicles? And is somebody going to be picking you guys up after each day?
Yeah, so the first day we're planning on walking all the way to Port Credit in Mississauga from BMO Field. So we're trying to tackle a lot in the first day to get most of that done. Fortunately, we've got contacts, we've got arrangements planned between Rick and myself and my family. We've got ways to get people where we need to go so we can get home at the end. Yeah, to Rick's point, I do walk a lot. I work, for those who don't know, my day job's in a warehouse, so I'm on my feet 8 to 10 hours a day on concrete floor. So I'm used to standing and walking. So fortunately, it's going to be a breeze for me. We're getting everything ready, prepared. We got water, electrolytes, snacks, towel. No raincoat. If it rains, that'll be a blessing because it's been so freaking hot the last 2 months.
Did you
Sun's
guys get sponsorships from businesses?
No, yeah, no corporate sponsor. I shouldn't say that. We do have a sponsor. We are getting our shoes provided through a sponsor. I don't have them on hand, unfortunately. But if any of you know T on the X platform, shout out to him and thank you because he donated a couple pairs of shoes for us to wear. So that'll save us 65 kilometers of wearing our shoes. Some really nice high quality running shoes. So that's gonna help us out a long way.
Are you guys going to be wearing T-shirts?
I think most of us are going to be wearing our CFL team gear. I know Dallas has a neutral CFL Fans Fight Cancer jersey. I think Connor has one as well. I know Rick's probably going to wear his Hamilton gear, and I'll be wearing my double blue gear. So we'll have some fun with it. Maybe if we raise enough money on donations, maybe we'll do some alternate stuff. Try to, I don't know. The people who raise money for the organization are fantastic. We've seen guys like Chris Tomofachuk raise money when he went to all the stadiums in the shortest record-setting amount of time. People do jersey swaps all the time. Tiger Sammy wore an Argos jersey at Labor Day last year. Will Gerler, he wore a Ticats jersey in an Argos game one year. So like guys do fantastic things like that to support it. And at the end of the day, like if we're gonna lose a bet like Corey Allen did, that it goes to CFL Fans Fight Cancer, a donation. That's the best outcome because everybody wins in that way.
Rick's got another comment here. Chris, 2 questions. Will the Argos defense be able to stop James Butler, the former Cat? And does McMahon, will he be able to get running going for Toronto? Rick, I'm going to answer it first. No, I feel James Butler is probably going to have a big game against the Argos defense. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And DeMonte McMahon, no offense, I this is nothing personally, but to me, he's not a number 1 running back in this league. He's more of a number 2 or a complimentary guy, and I really do feel the team, in my opinion, made a mistake letting Kadeem Carey go. In my opinion, and
Well,
that's my take.
Well, ultimately, letting Kadeem Carey go didn't matter because he broke him.
Yeah.
Out for the season for Saskatchewan. But yeah, like I think the problem more than anything is that McMahon hasn't had the same kind of like health that he did last year. He keeps getting injured, unfortunately. And we saw this week in practice, Mayan Chop Williams got injured in practice as well. So now he's on the 6-game injured list. So like again, like injury bug. It's now our new Brown, Spencer Brown, not Kevin Brown, because now he's with Hamilton. It's just guys are having to come in and step up and fill roles and just yeah, it just hasn't reached the same kind of quality of play before. And like you kind of at the time in preseason, like you look at what the trade of Ababoy as well to Ottawa did, bringing in Chatfield, who's been amazing. Like it's hard to justify right now that the trade was bad. But it's just, yeah, things from the running game just haven't been working out with injuries and substitutions and things like that.
Nick, I wanted to ask you about the linebacker they brought back from Hamilton, former Guelph Griffin, Simon Chavez.
Hello? Oh.
Yeah, I'm still there, Nick.
Okay,
I'm still here.
I'm not worried about Butler as I am about Nathan Rourke. He's finally getting hot at the right time.
I think Rourke is I think Rourke is playing much better than he was a year ago, and I do think James Butler is going to have a very good game against this Argos defense. I think the only way the Argos win this game is they're going to have to outscore BC, and it's gonna come down to like they're just going to have to put on more points than BC. I do not think this is going to be a low scoring game. I think it's going to be
Yeah.
in the. I think there's going to be 60 plus points scored between the two teams, minimum 60.
Fortunately, BC's defense isn't much better either. Like Matthew Betts hasn't been like he was last year before he went to the Detroit Lions. Mike Olay, like you could put him in the discussion with Cam Judge for best linebacker in the league right now. Jerry Peters is okay. Hart Jr. like he had that one amazing world-breaking catch, but like yeah, other than that, they're not amazing defensively. So I think that they can figure things out that way. Yeah. Sorry, I was going to just mention Rick that he mentioned as well. So yeah, Simon Chavez, the Toronto Argonauts traded seventh round draft pick to Hamilton for Chavez. Chavez, if you know anything, he's been the kind of the league number 2 long snapper, backup long snapper, where guys have been injured or whatever, and he's not good enough to be the top guy, but he's good enough that he can fill in for everybody. So he's taking that long snap role while Adam Ahmed is now on the injury list as well.
At 2-8 after 10 games, Nick, is it realistic for this team to go on a 7-1 or a 8 run to finish out the regular season? And if this team continues to fall out of a playoff spot, is there any point in bringing back Chad Kelly this season at the end of it?
Probably not. I mean, I will say he is taking a bit more reps in practice, so that's good to see. But I don't think it's going to lead to him playing out of an abundance of caution. And with a record like this, why not? But as the door closed, like this window, if there is any chance of hope, like record, like I'm not even trying to look at the record on going on an 8-0 or 7-1 run or anything like that. It's just looking ahead to this next game. Like this is one of the teams you're probably competing with for that crossover spot. You need to beat BC in order to prevent them from potentially crossing over. And now's your opportunity to do it because Montreal's taking an absolute nosedive. Ottawa's not playing that great. Like they're a little bit ahead of Toronto, but they could still find a way to jump them. And we hold the tiebreaker against them by points. So they just need to finish with a better record than Ottawa and Edmonton and BC. So that's I think where you got to look at you, and to do that this week is a huge thing because
You Nick, I think you cut out your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, Wi-Fi not doing me good today.
It happens to all of us, even to Rick. I'm sure it happens to Rick as well. But BC, they're 5-5. It's not like, oh my God, the Argos have no chance in this game. BC's only 500. BC sometimes looks like a Grey Cup contender, and then there's some games they look beatable. So I'm not going to be shocked if the Argos win on Saturday against the BC Lions, but I won't be shocked if they lose to BC as well. So I don't know. We'll see. Well, the only advantage the Argos have is they're at home and BC has to travel across. And the 3:00 game is really a 12:00 game for the BC guys being from the West Coast. So maybe the West Coast travel and the time change and the early start might be in the Argos' favor.
Yeah, I don't know if my heart can take any more of these close losses, but at the end of the day, I think it is good for the CFL from an entertainment perspective. And for the 20,000 that we're expected to have show up this week, it'll provide an entertaining game for fans, whether or not the home team does prevail or not. At the end of the day, I think that's what casual fans are looking for, and especially with Canada's star athlete guy in the CFL with Nathan Rourke coming in. That's what you're hoping to drive a good positive experience in an entertaining game. So I'm hoping it stays close, even if it doesn't fall the Argonauts' way. But I do, if we're going in picks as we're kind of winding up our half hour, I am going to be taking the Lions this week. Until they prove to me that they can string some wins consistently together, I unfortunately can't keep picking Toronto anymore.
By the way, this is Nathan Rourke's first ever game in Toronto too, so there's another reason to come to BMO Field Saturday to see Nathan Rourke's first game. And I have a CFL update, Nick. Winnipeg 16, Winnipeg 16, Montreal 13, 5:15 to go in the third quarter. This is the last Thursday night football game of the year with the CFL, since the NFL will be back very soon too.
Yeah, CFL football season is almost half over. Football season's almost over, and it feels so soon.
What are some keys to an Argo win over BC on Saturday?
I think it's gonna get them like getting better defensively. You're gonna have to find a solution for Nathan Rourke. I'm not sure if I'm still good audio wise. I know my video.
I can hear you. No, I can hear you.
I'll do that. Okay, so I'm gonna cut my visual out so you won't get to see my amazing jerseys in the background. But yeah, it's gonna come down to Nathan Rourke, just shutting him down, I think, and then I'm gonna say it's gonna come down to not screwing things up on special teams. We really need, like, I feel like a broken record saying at this point, but we can't have a return. A kick return to the original line of scrimmage that it got punted from. We can't have a blocked punt or a near block where Haggerty has to run around. We can't have anything like that. It's a fumble on a return or an onside kick or something. We just have to play a clean game.
Well, with Cooksey not being there, they're going to need a big game out of Brissett and Daniels and Unger. And I feel they have to get some kind of running game going. Instead of negative plays on special teams, Jerian Grant has been close to taking one down for a touchdown. So if they can get a big return touchdown out of him, that'll help. I'm not worried about the kicking game at all, but they need a big special teams play, and they need the defense, specifically the secondary, to get an interception or a fumble. So I think they need to play a clean game, but they also need to take away the ball from BC, and they need to capitalize on any BC mistakes as well. And if they can run the ball a little bit more than what they're doing, that'll be a bonus as well. And we have another comment here. And this is Richard Chung. He says, stop taking penalties. Well, penalties, turnovers, miscues will get you beat a lot of the time. So yeah, Richard, they have to stop taking penalties. So yeah, be disciplined against BC. And the Argos a number of times this year have gotten off to good starts, but this team, Nick, maybe only 1 or 2 games this year they've played the full 60 minutes. I find this team just cannot play the whole 4 quarters consistently. You still there, Nick, or did I lose you?
Yep. No, I'm still here. Ottawa was emblematic of that. They gave up. They blew a 20-point first quarter lead.
Yes, that's
fatal.
One of the. Yeah,
It's sums up fatal.
It sums up the season. So, but hopefully they can get a good start against BC, and like I said, discipline and eliminate the miscues, and try to get more than 29 yards rushing. 29 yards rushing. That's I don't care if it's CFL, NFL, college football, high school. That's unacceptable. So they have to somehow get that running game going. And also, you want to keep the ball away from Nathan Rourke in that BC Lions offense. The longer they have that ball, the more chances BC is going to be putting points on the Argos. And I don't feel the Argos can fall behind in this game like 21-0 and come back. I know Arbuckle's been good, but this team doesn't have the offense built to come back from a huge deficit. So that's going to be another key. And we have another comment too. This is from Connor Sauve. Argos need to believe and truly fight until the end, but will they pull together? Seems like unlikely, sadly. Well, they're the underdog.
I can't tell you that with regards to that, will they pull together? The team sure pulled together in practice today, I think. It kind of got a little heated maybe at the beginning. Things not going quite executed the way Ryan Dinwiddie hoped, but I thought the team looked good, really rallying around towards the end of it.
And I want to say thank you to Connor for watching this too. Connor, Richard, and Rick, thank you for all watching this. Before we wrap the show up in a couple minutes, if anybody has any more comments, questions, please send a message, and me and Nick will respond accordingly. And as we wrap up this show, oh, we got another
Pick'em
comment.
time.
Not quite, not quite. I get another comment here. That's good to hear. Okay, Connor. Now we're going to do this new segment I started a few weeks ago, Nick. CFL Week 12 power ratings. I'm going to give you mine first. Number 1, Saskatchewan. Number 2, Calgary moves up. Number 3, Hamilton drops to 3. Winnipeg is number 4. Montreal drops to 5. BC's at 6. Ottawa's moves up to 7. Edmonton, with their win over Toronto, it moves to 8. And unfortunately, for the second straight week, the worst team in the CFL, number 9, is the Toronto Argonauts.
Yeah, I of course didn't have the Argonauts at dead last week. This week, yeah, the only one I would switch personally would be BC and Montreal. I think they're going in opposite directions, but other than that, but yeah, we'll see with Ottawa and Edmonton, because I think this game head to head, this is going to be a real determining factor. I don't know if we want to jump into that with the pick'ems, because I've had my picks submitted already before this game, so I'll just jump right in. It's 16-13 Winnipeg right now, but full disclaimer, I had Winnipeg picked to win from the beginning, so we'll see how the fourth quarter of this game shapes out. I have Edmonton on the road over Ottawa, I have BC over Toronto, and I have Saskatchewan over Calgary, so I'm taking the road teams in all 4 games this week.
I'm going to be taking Winnipeg over Montreal in a nail biter. Edmonton at Ottawa, I'm going to go with the Elks. I think the Elks are going to win their third straight game. I really feel the Edmonton's going to win that game. BC and Toronto, my heart says the Argonauts, brain says BC. The way the Argos have been this year, I think the Argos are going to be competitive, and I think they're going to fight. But I just think Nathan Rourke is just a little bit better than Nick Arbuckle, and I think it's going to come down to a last minute touchdown or field goal in this game. So I'm going to go with BC and Nathan Rourke to win this game, and then Saskatchewan at Calgary. Calgary 6-3, but I still feel Saskatchewan right now is the class of the league. So Saskatchewan. So Winnipeg, Edmonton, BC, and Saskatchewan are my picks.
Nice. So we're in the same boat this week then.
Absolutely. And before we wrap up this show, Nick, can you tell us about your first experience at this year's CNE and what different foods that you tried already?
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I'm just bringing it up on my phone so I can just make sure I've got it covered here. The big one I did when I first got in there was they have, where they do the corn dogs, they have now this fried meatball mozzarella stick. Thing is absolutely delicious. I absolutely loved it. It was great. I didn't end up trying any of those dirty sodas, but I did see them in a number of places around. So that'll probably be a must try this week. And then other food, I tried one of those pickle boats. I went for the lox, the gravlax one. So it was like smoked salmon and grilled cheese. It actually worked quite well on the dill pickle. The turkey legs were good. The smoked meat sandwich I had, a Montreal smoked meat sandwich, it was all right. But when you go to Schwartz's Deli in Montreal and you have the real thing, you can't compare. This one, the bread was a little too soft and hold everything quite as well. My brother had one of those big, giant, like foot-long chickens breaded in cornflakes, which had a weird chew to it, but it was really tasty. And then I think the biggest disappointment of all the foods I had was do not get chicken wings with the fries from any of those food vendors. $20 for 8 pigeon wings is a ripoff. That was the biggest disappointment.
That's the going rate nowadays too. By the way, the dirty sodas started in the 70s and 80s. It was basically the dirty sodas were around when I was growing up. It was basically, okay, a little Coke, a little Pepsi, a little 7-Up, a little this, a little of that. So the dirty soda concept is nothing new. That's kind of retro. When I was a kid, I used to like it, but not now. And as for the Did you guys try the 2-foot hot dog for
Didn't
$55?
didn't get a chance to do the hot dog. I was gonna do the hot dog and the sushi burrito thing this upcoming game. I didn't ask the price of it. I don't believe it was $55 for a
No,
hot
it
dog.
is. The 2-foot hot dog, $55.
Yeah, well,
$55 for a 2-foot hot dog.
yeah, I haven't done that yet, so we'll see. The one thing I did have in the food building that was actually really good was a bison meat hamburger. That was honestly really good. It was lots of meaty flavor, like a beef patty, but not so much. It wasn't really gamey even, but it didn't have the fattiness to it either. Like it wasn't a super greasy burger. It was lean, but it was all pure meat. It wasn't breading. It wasn't greasy, oily fat, and it wasn't gamey. It was actually really good, and like you get whatever kind of simple toppings you wanted. So I just no sauces. I just went lettuce, tomato, onions, and some pickles. It was fantastic.
Did you have an upset stomach after eating all this food?
Nope. Fortunately, I got an iron gut. So, and I mean, due to the nature of my work on my feet all the time, that helps. That helps wear it off. I guess the other thing I'll bring up too, after the CNE, the day after, I was actually at Japan Festival, Mississauga. So that was quite fun too. There was a lot of Japanese street food kind of stuff. So there was like yakitori, grilled chicken sticks, and I had a big fried octopus skewer covered in like a tangy kind of soy barbecue sauce. So there was stuff like that, mochis and rice balls and all kind of stuff like that. So that was another fun day as well.
Did you do any rides at the CNE?
Nope, I'm not a ride person. My brother does the rides. If there was one I'd recommend, the Niagara Falls, the log flume ride is the thing that I would when we were kids, I would go on it like nonstop because just the cool water getting splashed, it just helps so much on really hot days. That's my go-to.
And hopefully the weather will be reasonable on Saturday. I've had enough of the 95 to 98-degree temperatures.
Yeah, I'll tell you, when you're in a warehouse without air conditioning, it
Oh,
is a
yes.
blessing to go
I know.
from yeah,
Yep.
to go from like the what feels like 40 sometimes in there to now
Yep.
lower 20s. It's a
Yep.
blessing.
Oh, I know. I used to work in warehouses and factories, so in restaurants, so I know what it's like. At least in the one job, they gave me freezies and popsicles during our breaks.
Yeah, none of that. Go to the fridge in the break room, grab some ice out of the freezer.
Final thoughts, Nick, as we wrap up episode 9 tonight.
Yeah, we just got to keep pulling together. I know it's trying times, and we've voiced our initial criticisms of certain things this that came out last week, but at the end of the day, we're all Argo fans. We need to pull together. We need to support our team, and I know the players, the coaching staff, the members who care do appreciate it. So all we can do is show that we care back and remember, like everybody in the CFL, and while they're supporting their own team, we're also supporting each other. CFL Fans Fight Cancer is a great example of that. So if you get a chance, we greatly appreciate any donation, big or small.
And also, they're doing a magician halftime act at BMO Field too.
Well, if you want to see a magician, do a halftime show where they have me and like four other guys where there's like, I don't know, some crazy carnival food in front of us and we have to eat it in under 10 minutes or something because I'm the magician when it comes to that. I make food disappear real easily.
Well, when you get my age, it'll be different. It'll be different. So you
Yeah,
take
well,
advantage of it. Take
yeah,
advantage of your use. But like I said, at least they're going to have a lot. There'll be a lot going on there, and hopefully the team. I do feel the team will have fight and be competitive. Just whether enough they can clean up the mistakes and the penalties,
absolutely.
and I do think this is a winnable game. So, but it's going to be a high scoring game. I do feel there's going to be a lot of points in this game, and we'll see what happens. But Nick, we'll definitely have to meet up at the CNE because I would like to have one cold drink before I head out. I would like to have a few, but unfortunately, when you're driving, you got to be responsible. So
One
I
good
will.
thing That's one good thing about my dad no longer drinking. It's you always got a designated driver. And funny enough, the best when we did go, we went as a family. The best part about it was, I think, when we all gathered together at one of the beer lounges and just hung out and really spent some nice quality time together as a family. And that's what counts. CFL's family too.
And Richard Chung says, just cheer your heart out Saturday for the Argos. I can't. Being in the media press box, I can't. There's no cheering there, but I'm looking forward to a very exciting competitive game, and hopefully the team can get a win, and we'll see what happens. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyways, Nick, I want to say Richard and Rick and Connor, thank you so much for watching our show, which is live streamed on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. And thank you to everyone listening to this on our audio platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Good Pods, and wherever podcasts are available. And if anyone out there has a business and they're looking to advertise on the Argo Bounce Podcast show, please contact me at cpomay19@gmail.com or contact Nick through his Twitter page. And Nick, since we're talking about social media, where can our audience find and follow you and contact you on social media?
Yep, as always, check me out at NickSmall38 on Twitter or on my YouTube channel. It's always direct on Twitter's the best way to get a hold of me these days. So, thanks everybody who's tuned in this week. Stay cool in this hot weather, and no matter what happens, go Argos.
Go Argos. And I just finished my third show of the day, so I set a record there. So thanks, Nick. And I want to say thank you to Sean Belegian and Mary Morgan, a voiceover actress from Texas that came on today as well. And the Argo Bounce Podcast show, episode 10, will be next week with a special guest. The date and time and the guest to be announced next week. But well, Nick, we'll run into you at the BMO Field and at the CNE as well.
Yeah, we'll see you at the CNE. If anybody wants to hook up and we'll do some crazy eating thing together, we'll make it work out. So have a good night, guys. Take care. Go Argos.
Go Argos. Thanks, Nick. All right, everybody, that wraps up episode 9 of the Argo Bounce Podcast show on this Thursday, August 21st, 2025. CFL action, Montreal, Winnipeg tonight. At last, it was Winnipeg 16, Montreal 13 at the end of the third quarter. And then we've got other games this week. Friday, Edmonton at Ottawa, BC and Toronto at 3 o'clock Saturday. I will be at BMO Field as freelance media. So make sure you check out my social media pages for pictures, videos, and some pre and post game interviews. And then the Saturday night doubleheader game at 7 o'clock is Saskatchewan and Calgary as well. And my next live with CDP Sports Entertainment Talk Show is going to be Friday, August 22nd, tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern with my special guest, Angelina Vincent, a recording artist and songwriter out of the province of Quebec. So if you guys like music and musicians, please check out Angela Vincent tomorrow night on Live with CDP Sports Entertainment Talk Show. This will be my 6th show in 5 days. You guys are probably all getting sick of me as well. And I'm also wearing my new Argos hat I got a couple weeks ago at BMO Field. So thank you to the team for that great hat promotion as well. And it fits my head too. We're going to wrap up the show, but thanks to Nick Small and everyone for watching this show. Rick, Richard, and Connor, thank you for your comments. And we'll be back next week with a special guest. And we're going to talk Argos and BC and hopefully a win. And then we're going to preview the Labor Day game between the Argos and Hamilton on September 1st at Hamilton Stadium. So I hope everybody has a great night. Enjoy the CFL games, and hopefully we'll run into some of you guys Saturday at BMO Field during the CNE. And I'm looking forward to doing some freelance independent media coverage of the Argos BC game at BMO Field. So have a great evening, have a great weekend, and go Argos and enjoy the CNE. See you guys next week for episode 10 of the Argo Bounce Podcast show with
fight the foe. Scoring touchdowns for the blue on blue. The Argos will win for you. Full of fight and courage, you can't stop. They pile up the points until